Good afternoon and welcome to your lunch primetime news. Before we move on to your stories in detail, let's take a look at the headlines. Sagala Ratnayaka and DM Swaminathan sworn in as new ministers in addition to their current portfolios. 26 inmates who were held under the Prevention of Terrorism Act further remanded as AG's department had not provided advice. 2 brothers killed in an accident in the Mattala Airport junction. 9 killed in jet crash in Ohio, America. Sri Lankan to take on the West Indies in the second T20 in Colombo. In your local news, 32 individuals who are being held under the Prevention of Terrorism Act have been further remanded after they were produced before the Colombo magistrate today.
When the 32 inmates were produced before the Halfstop Magistrates Court, the magistrate ordered that the suspects be further remanded since the state councils representing the suspects were not present in court. Officials from the Terrorist Investigations Department informed court that they had not received any advice from the Attorney General's Department. Taking these facts into consideration, the magistrate ordered that the suspects be further remanded until the 24th of this month. Commissioner General of Prisons Rohana Pushpakumara said yesterday that 31 persons who were being held under the Prevention of Terrorism Act would be released on bail today based on advice given to the state councils by the Attorney General's Department.
When the case was taken up today, the officials representing the Terrorism Investigations Department said that they had not received any instructions to grant bail by the AG's department. Therefore, the hearing was postponed for 2 weeks.
Minister Sagala Ratnayaka was sworn in as the Minister of Law and Order. This is in addition to his portfolio of Southern Development. DM Swaminathan took oaths as the Minister of Prison Reforms. They were sworn in before President Maithripala Sirisena a short while ago. Police investigations have been launched into a shooting involving a youth in Vemahanduwa, Mathura. Police media spokesperson ASP Ruwan Gunasekara said that the shooter had shot himself subsequent to opening fire.
The police media spokesperson said that the shooter was a Navy soldier from the Tangol Navy camp. The police media spokesperson added that the girl was shot at by the Navy soldier while she was asleep at her residence. Extensive police investigations have been launched following the discovery of the rifle. He came on the 1st of January as well. He attacked my child with a club and she was in the hospital for 2 days. He never came back after that. He had been threatening my child that he will return. An individual has been murdered with the use of a knife in Habarana. Police say that the suspected murderer was admitted to the Dambulla Hospital after consuming poison. The suspect is being admitted to the Dambulla General Hospital for treatment while under police custody. The victim was a 22-year-old resident of Habarana. The motive for the murder is yet to be ascertained. 2 suspects have been arrested in connection with the murder of a Maldivian national in Tanbolvilla, Piliandala. The police say that the incident had been ruled as contract killing over a sum of 14 million rupees. A sum of 500,000 rupees had been deposited from Maldives to an account in a bank in the country on the day the youth was murdered. The police added that the murdered youth was a member of a most wanted underworld gang. Preliminary investigations have revealed that the underworld gang had granted a contract to a Maldivian national in Sri Lanka to murder the youth who was also known to be a Maldivian national. Thereby the murder had been orchestrated by a Maldivian and a Sri Lankan national.
2 members of the same family died owing to an accident at the junction leading up to the Mattala Airport in Hambantota. Our correspondent said that a motorcycle carrying the 2 siblings and a tipper truck were involved in the collision. The deceased was a 24-year-old resident of Kurudana and his brother who was 16 years old at the time of his demise. The driver of the tipper truck was arrested. The Zonal Wildlife Office for the Puttlam district was declared open under the auspices of Minister Gamini Jayavikrama Pereira.
Following the opening ceremony, a special discussion took place at the auditorium of the Puttlam District Secretariat regarding the wild elephant problem. A group including the State Minister for Trade Union Affairs, Palitharangi Bandara, State Minister for Law and Order and Prison Reforms, Priyankara Jayaratna, and the District Secretariat for Puttlam were present at the event. We created an institution that did not exist here before. There is a staff for the district. Your duty is not to stay within the confines of your office, but to travel throughout this zone. If there is a shortage of vehicles, inform us and we will get that approved. In the case of an emergency, do not give excuses such as there was a shortage of vehicles or officers. You need to take immediate action in such situations.
Moving back to one of our local stories, large crowds continue to arrive at the Sri Naga Vihara in Kotte to pay their last respects to the late Most Venerable Madhuluvave Sobhita Thero.
In the
1980s, we saw how the Venerable Thero moved forward in his life with humility amidst much hardships and challenges. His demise is a big loss to the Sasana as well as the entire Buddhist world. The Most Venerable Madhuluvave Sobhita Thero is one who rendered a great service against drugs and narcotics in the country. He treated everyone equally. He is a rare breed in the country. We cannot assume that another monk like him would ever be born in the country. His demise is a loss to the world. May he rest in peace.
The
demise of Venerable Madhuluvave Sobhita Thero is a great loss to the country. He brought together the communities of the country. He is the pioneer in taking the nation to a better place. A number of artists also arrived to pay their last respects to the late Most Venerable Madhuluvave Sobhita Thero. Politicians continue to arrive today as well as to pay their respects to the late Most Venerable Madhuluvave Sobhita Thero.
Most Venerable Madhuluvave Sobhita Thero, for ushering in a new era, for dedicating yourself to the people, may you attain Nibbana.
And that's all the news we have for you here on your lunchtime news. Join us again at 1:55 for more of the latest. I'm Aishwarya Pinto for News First.